We spoke to Mr. R. Srikrishna, who is the CEO of Hexaware Technologies. Let's get him invited in the show as well. Mr. Srikrishna, it's a very good, thanks so much for joining in. Very good afternoon to you. When we last spoke to you, post quarter one, essentially, we saw some deals largely getting cancelled in the industry, but for you specifically, you actually won an order in the last week of March. How has there been any affected deals post that between April to June specifically?
Puneet, we are in a silent period, so I'll talk in more general terms, less about Hexaware specifically. So I think in last quarter, what we said is that tariffs have a clear and direct first-order impact on our manufacturing and consumer sectors. And those customers have really kind of gone into a shell to plan for scenarios on supply chain. So that sector, if you see what has happened over the quarter, that has not fundamentally changed. But I'll say today the expectation is somewhat better than what it was 3 months ago. There is a hope and an expectation that tariffs will get negotiated down to reasonable levels. And once they do get negotiated and announced, there's not going to be a lot of change after that. Now, I think a combination of these, what it means is that there is some small but very cautious optimism for future. It has not been reflected yet, but there is a bit of a cautious optimism for future relative to tariffs in the manufacturing and consumer sectors.
So you mentioned about manufacturing and consumer being largely affected. You're echoing the sentiment that happened post quarter one for you, effectively calendar 25. But BFSI will largely lead the growth. Now, I know it's in different segments for you, but if I just take a consolidated view, it's a trend that we've seen across companies. Have you seen the banks as well as financial institution continue to spend on IT in this particular time frame?
That is largely true that financial services sector and banking have done well. And they have not been first order impacted by tariffs. So their view was, hey, if tariffs or everything else that's happening in the economy have the impact of slowing the economy down and causing a recessionary environment, then we may change our budgets. But right now, we have not seen that, or our customers have not seen that. So I think there is cautious kind of staying on course. So staying on course, they haven't changed direction either positively or negatively, but there is a caution. But on the whole, that sector continues to do well. And even the most recent macro data that has come, there is fortunately no evidence of macro slowdown yet. And and inflation is also doing what it is supposed to do. In fact, maybe slightly lower than what is expected before.
No macro slowdown, that's good to hear, sir. But also, if I just take a step back, because you are in silent period, in the previous up cycles like the Y2K amongst others, you needed that coding expertise. Now with AI and artificial intelligence, a lot of that might not be the case. What do you see in an ideal IT employee when you're hiring, and what are some of the key aspects to that?
I think the opportunity, if I'm a young engineer, is to learn how to use AI to code faster, more efficiently, and better. That is the clear opportunity. And I think there will be a clear difference between engineers who know how to code with AI and engineers who do not know how to code with AI. Now, there certainly is significant investment from us, from the industry, in training engineers to do that. But honestly, I think training is only going to get people this far, because there is no training program right now that can keep pace with the velocity of change in technology. So the most durable characteristic in an engineer is curiosity. the most durable characteristic is if I am curious, I'm willing to learn what is new every single day because no corporate training programs can keep pace. So not only is there a difference between people who know how to use AI to code, that's right now, but that could change 2 weeks from now because what that AI coding means can change. So we need engineers who are curious, who are willing to learn and keep pace with the latest.
Also, so just to follow up on IT hiring trends, have you been able to actually find the right talent? You mentioned about curiosity in engineers. Have you been able to spot those when you're hiring across regions?
So I think unfortunately or fortunately, it is software characteristics are much harder to judge. All of our evaluation systems and fresh engineer hiring are tuned towards, majority of it is tuned towards establishing hard skills and evaluating hard skills. And there are some soft skills, but I think curiosity is hard to judge. So, but there certainly are quite a large number of our fresh graduates that are very good at using and understanding the latest AI tools for coding. In fact, many of them are born native coding and AI, and they're outstanding. And we just need more of them.
The other aspect of the Srikrishna within the industry and for yourself at Hexaware has been acquiring clients via new customer acquisition teams. That's also led to growth in the past as well for you. Has that been a trend that's continuing, and do you see that in the short to medium term as well?
So I think if you look at the impact of AI, what are the three, in our view, the three biggest opportunity areas are as follows. One is in software development. The second is in contact center and call center transformation. And the third is in core business operations. Back office has always been up for automation and outsourcing, but now I'll say middle office and front office domain-based operations are a clear opportunity for substantially running autonomous with agentic AI. So these are the opportunities. So, and I think our focus of helping customers is in each of these three opportunity areas.
Also, Mr. Srikrishna, we spoke about acquisition via customer acquisition teams and acquiring essentially the teams within these companies. How have you seen that? And also, essentially, when you look at how industries are also changing, how are you as IT companies helping to evolve that transition?
That is true. I think, there are two kind of independent. One is to acquire customers purely for new layers like front office and back office. But I think it's also a greater opportunity that our existing customers, where we're doing a variety of other services to help them expand and realize the full value of AI in the middle office and front office.
And within industries, you mentioned about the change because of that. If you can also just give us some more perspective on how you are helping in this transition of these industries and the change that we are seeing there as well.
So I think the importance of platforms in delivering services to customers has increased substantially. And I think that direction of travel will only accelerate. And the difference really between platforms and service companies is going to blur. And a lot of services we deliver will be driven a lot more by software than it is today. So I wouldn't call it products, but platforms' importance to our industry is going to increase exponentially.
Well, thanks so much for joining and giving us perspective on, of course, for Hexaware, but also for the IT space. We look forward to our next conversation post your results. But thanks so much for joining in today.